Welcome to the Gearbox Podcast with Jimmy Purdy. We're bringing together industry leaders and those in the daily grind. Whether you're a tech looking to level up or a shop owner navigating the business, or just here for some real talk about the automotive world, we're finding the common ground in entrepreneurship and picking up some valuable tips along the way. So buckle up, let's shift into gear. Before we get started, I want to let you know the Gearbox Podcast is powered by the Repair Shops of Tomorrow. It's our exclusive coaching partner. If you're looking to boost profitability, grow your arrow, and streamline operations, RSOT has the tools and expertise to get you there. Shift your shop into the future with the Repair Shops of Tomorrow. Before I forget, another 30 minutes gets into it, huh?
Yeah, because this is I think this is good content, Jimmy. I mean, because what you're doing is you're looking at, similarities and not differences. And you're not looking at the people that you have on, you're not looking at what they're doing is right, wrong, good, or bad. You're going to, that's what they're doing. Cool. I may not want to do that, and I may disagree with it, but you're not bringing that persona to it. You're keeping an open mind. And, I'm just going to read it what we talked about last time. Some of these Facebook groups for auto repair shop owners, some of these other owners look at what other owners is doing is right, wrong, good, or bad. And honestly, that's why I don't participate in them. That's why I don't put stuff out there. It's not that I don't want to it's not that I don't want condescending feedback or I can't take it. No, but there's giving constructive criticism and there's just straight talking shit. And some of these guys,
it's not
on their look.
It's not productive.
Yeah, it's not. It's like if the people that I listen to, who as opinion I respect, is they're not looking at how I want to do my vision for my business. They don't look at it as right, wrong, good, or bad. Like too many of these other guys and some of these other groups, it's obvious. That's why I don't post in there. I'll scroll down there and read because that's how I can kind of learn and get feedback. But I don't have time for the shit talking. It's like, dude, if you're going to give constructive feedback, cool, awesome. But if you're going to tell me what I'm doing is right, wrong, good, or bad, no, screw you. I don't want to give you the time of day. I don't want you. That's just no. I'm not going to let my serenity, my peace of mind means too much to me to listen to that bullshit.
Oh yeah. Well, there's that, and then there's taking it too far, like drinking the Kool-Aid, right? So there's that, right, where you got people just like are so stuck in their ways they'll never change. They don't want to pick up a little bit, and then there's other ones that just follow these people blindly, and so they don't really understand why they're doing what they're doing. So then when you call them out on it, those are the ones that are talking shit to you because they're like looking at you saying, hey, this goes against what, so-and-so that I'm following is doing. So you're doing it wrong. And it's like, well, why?
Yeah.
Right. And you question them and they have no idea because they're following so blindly against this, in quotes, leader, right? That's like, doesn't even make any damn sense, man. Figure out your own path. And I think that's what I try to do is get enough information that you can find a common denominator, find a common thread. Like, don't do exactly what David Marks is doing. Don't do exactly what Jimmy Purdy does. But take enough where you can forge your own path forward. Cause I think that's what we're all kind of looking for, right? We're looking for what we want, and I think we all look for the silver bullet, right? Like we're always looking like, so is selling used cars, is that the way I become a millionaire? It's like, there isn't that, like that it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like there doesn't exist. Like, but if you do it right, you'll make a living, right? So is it wrong? Not for you. Like maybe it is for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm just going to call the pot black. It's ASOC. If I put anything about car sales in there, next, I'm Saddam Hussein on war crimes against automotive humanity. It's ridiculous. It is. It's ridiculous. I posted something in there I dropped out of that for a while, and I posted something in there like, hey, I'm looking to connect with other guys in this group that also sell cars. That's all my post was. And then I had a bunch of people in the comments tell me every reason why you shouldn't do it. Like, did you not read what I posted? I didn't ask for your opinion. Dude, I've been doing this for 13 years. And I'm no better or worse than anybody else, but because I'm not going to name any names, but there was one person in particular that saw that I didn't comment on anybody's comment that disagreed with my post. And that's not what I posted. I posted, I'm looking to connect with other guys that are also doing this. And there was one person in particular to call. Then I just, it's like, that just kind of sparked my fuse. And it's like, nope, I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm like, dude, did you not read my post? I didn't ask if I should do this. I said, I've been doing this and I want to connect with other guys that are doing this. so I could collaborate with other people that are also doing this. I
I'm
didn't
looking, I'm
ask anybody's
I'm looking
opinion
for
if I should do
helpful
this.
information. Yeah.
Just no, that's all I did is I just want to collaborate with other guys that are doing this because I'm not the only one that's doing this. And I'm not going to name any names because that that's a if I started naming names, that's a direct reflection on me. And I don't want that. I think I'm above that, and that's not how I want to feel. That's not the self reflection I want at the end of the day when I look at myself in the mirror. So I'm not going to name any names, but it's like that's the type of mentality. That's why I don't participate in that group.
Yeah.
I will read comments, but dude, and two, I don't know about you, Jimmy. I ain't got time to post on Facebook all day like these guys do. I don't know
That's
how
true
they
too.
run a business and make money posting and commenting, live on Facebook all day. I
Well,
don't have time.
I think on that, I think the problem is they're running a business that's not making money, right? And a lot of it's relied on content to try to make up that gap, right? And there's some shots fired for some of the content creators, right? Like I run a pretty successful shop, right? Like we make money. I don't need to do this podcast. Like it's for fun. I do this to learn, right? And because learning's expensive, and this pays for itself by just learning by talking to people like you and
Hell
getting your
yeah.
side of the story, right? So sometimes you look at some of these content creators and you got to kind of like read between the lines, right? Like so at the end of the post, there's a business that might be dropped, a name that might be dropped, right? And you're kind of like, wait a second here, like, what was the whole purpose of this remark, right? Like, just to
Right.
sway everyone one direction or another. And it's like that kind of stuff really drives me nuts. It's like I'm looking for some honest feedback. Like, I want some honesty. I want to see your posts, and then I want to read all the positive posts and negative. Some of it's negative, but I want to read that thread and determine whether or not I should start selling cars or I should look into that, right? I don't want a bunch of negativity that says don't ever do it. I don't want people saying don't ever open an automotive shop unless you have $1 million in
Yeah.
your pocket. Like that doesn't help anybody because it's not freaking realistic. You know what I mean? Like I started with $5,000 in my bank account, right? And now we do over close to 1.5 a year, like, and we're growing. We're looking to maybe being by two by the end of 2026. So, like,
Love it.
right, like, but like, I didn't start with a bunch of money. And I tell you what, if I did, I probably wouldn't have learned all the stuff that I know now. And what's more expensive, right? The learning or like the money? Like, you got to pay for it
Yeah.
one way or the other. So I don't know. Like, when you see the negativity, it just doesn't help. Like, it does. It like you why? Like, why is it that we talk about used cars? Like, why shouldn't he? Right? Like, give me some like facts. Show me something written down where you did something and it didn't work for you, right? And then we can all learn from it instead of just being outright negative about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I,
Yeah.
I need facts, man. Like, give me some freaking numbers. Like, why is everybody so worried about numbers? Like, oh,
Well, I
I don't want to tell you what it is. It's like I don't get it.
well, what's sad is I'm in some car dealer groups too for Facebook because it's every I don't care what industry and there's a closed Facebook group whatever you're doing is I don't see the shit talking in the some of the car dealer groups that I'm in like I do in ASOC. I'm just going to call it pot black. I don't see that. I don't. I'm in these car dealer groups. It's independent auto dealers. So there's buy here, pay here, lease here, pay here. There's groups for all that. I don't see the shit talking like I do in ASOC. Just flat out. I don't. And even in the other all the repair groups that we're in, changing the industry podcast, auto shop owners hangout, I don't see it. That's why I don't participate in that because I don't want that negativity in my day.
Yeah,
You're a
it
very
doesn't help.
positive out. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It doesn't. And if
And don't get me
it's
wrong,
just,
I'll definitely poke the bear. Like like
oh yeah,
there's some stuff there that like some people need some different direction, and I don't know what that is. Like I'm still learning my own management style and leadership style, right? Like, but sometimes there's some things that like you can't help but like dig into, and that's it is what it is, right? Like if you got to give someone a little bit of a poke, right? Like, but the main thing is like to be outright negative and then just stand on that hill for no apparent reason. Like
I know.
I've been proven wrong so many times, and like I'll continue to do it, right? Like it's like I just did the radio show this morning, right? So I do a radio show here locally, and we were talking. Somehow we talk about batteries. We're talking about batteries and battery maintenance, and I always get way too technical. Like I forget like the listeners are like not auto technicians or like shop owners,
Sure.
right? Like I kind of mix. Anyway. So we're talking about batteries. I'm like, you can only use distilled water, and we go on and on and on. I get a call and someone says, "Hey, you said only use distilled water," and I'm like, yeah, I mean, typically that's like hose water, right? It has minerals, it causes sulfate issues. Like you want to use distilled water. I'm not going to get technical about it. It's like just well, what about RO water? Like, huh? Well, maybe you just proved me wrong. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a water sommelier. Like, I don't know.
You're not
Like,
a water
I'm not a
scientist.
water scientist, but I'm like, I tell you what though, like maybe I should get an RO machine and I can get rid of my distilled water delivery. So I was like I don't mind being like, and this is just some random dude calling me on a radio station, right? Like,
That's
dude, like,
funny.
did you just teach me something? Like, I'm into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into the principles of RO water and see if I think I can maybe use that instead of distilled water to top batteries off. Like, cool, that'll help, you know. But it just, instead of being outright negative and said, I said distilled water, so that's all you can use, right? Like I'm King Dick right on the hill. Like, no, dude, like I'll take that. I'll look into it. And it's like, what's so hard about doing that? I just don't understand it.
Well, it's just, staying with that negativity. It's like, dude, I don't want that in my life and I don't participate that. Staying in that is, how is that improving? I can't improve the quality of my life staying in negativity, talking shit about somebody else is doing on Facebook. How does that improve the quality of my life? It doesn't. That's why I don't participate in it. I focus on what is going to make my life better so that way I can enhance the lives of the people around me. That's my employees, my customers, and my vendors. That's what I focus on. How do I
Right.
make them feel appreciated? And living in negativity on a Facebook group doesn't do that. So if that's you and that makes you happy, awesome. I don't want anything to do with you. Just flat out. That's why I don't participate in it.
Do you
It
think there's
doesn't.
do you think a lot of
It
it too
doesn't.
is like that's like maybe the issue with a lot of, I mean, just shop owners in general with like
Dude,
saying
a
saying
thousand
saying
percent.
well, saying one thing, but, like, actually running their business a little differently, right? Like, the facade, right? Like, the facade of, like, and it's easy to go in there and, like, have the answers when you're looking at it from, like, a 30,000-foot view, right? And, like, "Oh, well, you should do it like this," right? And then you come to find out their business isn't ran properly or they're having technician
Right.
problems, right?
We can go, every one of us can go into everybody's business and find holes and find, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. We all
Yep.
can do that. I can do it to yours, you can do it to mine, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But does that, at the end of the day, though, how does that, if it's done appropriately with love, patience, and tolerance,
Mhm.
that's fine. But when you go in there with, you're doing this with this is wrong, right, or good, bad attitude, it's no, no, no. I could dig holes in yours, you could dig holes in mine. If I
Well,
made, am I
then
doing
it just
the
becomes
best?
it just becomes a pissing match, right? Like, whose dick is bigger,
Yeah,
right? Like, and it doesn't help
right. Who
anybody do everything.
cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody
But if
cares.
but that is, like, the most valuable thing that we all have in common is that, like, you could come evaluate mine, and if I put my ego aside and actually listen to you, and I don't need to do all the things that you say, right? Like, you're not, like, you're not paying the rent, like, but you're giving me right,
Exactly.
but you're giving me advice that I never would have thought of, right? And, like, we can
Right.
use this to build each other, but we all get our ego in the way, and we all just think, "Oh, you're telling me that my child's ugly." Like, well, just relax, like, you know what I mean, though? Like we
Right.
have the power to help each other grow and have better businesses, and we choose not to because we think we know how to do it. And I mean, listen, if you listen to this podcast a lot, it probably sounds like that I'm coming from that exact place. But I, it's hard not to when, like, you're having a conversation. It just comes across like, oh, I have all the answers, and it's like I don't. But like any certain subject, like I tried my best to learn as much as I can about it, right? Am I learning every day? Yeah. Am I reading a book every day? I try to, right? Like, do I think I need a shop coach? I don't right now, but I know I do, so I'm going to anyway. So it's like, you just don't know what you don't know. You just got to keep learning,
Yeah.
right?
I got off the paid coaching scam. This is just my opinion. My opinion ain't right, wrong, good, or bad. But
Well, I
all
love this.
these
Well,
paid
I want to go down this. I love this.
all these paid coaches, to me, it's a scam because they're a business, no different than ours. They're looking at their numbers. How many clients do we have? What's our average repair order per client? Or what's our pipeline for potential clients? I use mentors because mentorship is from the heart for the heart, not paid coaching. And that's just how I feel. Okay. If you use a paid coach and it works for you, awesome. Keep doing it. But it didn't work for me and it doesn't work for me. Because they're a business no different than ours,
It's
you
hard is when
know?
it's hard when that veil starts getting pulled back a little bit,
Yeah. Because
and
that
I
happened to me.
Yep.
And I'm not going to name the coaching program I worked with, and I worked with one that's automotive specific, and I was working with one that I'm going to call them a general practitioner, and these are all nice people. Okay, they're not bad people, and I don't think they did anything intentionally. It just didn't work for me, and I didn't get the results that I was looking for. So I stopped, and I went back to using mentors. I actually have two. I have one that's in the sales space. I'm not going to name any names. I so you know what I am. So the one I use SCORE. I'm a huge advocate for SCORE. It stands for Society Course of Retired Executives. It is a free mentorship program that is affiliated directly with the SBA. And the guy that I work with, his name is Gary Deacon. He ran 3 bus dealerships. Okay, one in St. Louis, where I'm at, one in Arkansas, one in Tennessee. Very, very successful. I have not met anybody smarter when it comes to understanding a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. The dude can dissect them like nobody I've ever met. He's helped me write business plans, projections. Because, well, dude, he sold a business for $60 million. When you sell a business for $60 million and you run it up to $300 million in annual revenue, and you still own the properties, and the company you sold it to is writing you fat red checks, you know what the hell you're doing. You know a hell of a lot more than I do.
And
To sell a business
you know
for
more than most of us. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, exactly. He sold his businesses like in '08, '09, '10ish for $60 million.
Wow.
Okay, you know what you're doing. You obviously know a shit ton more than I do. And then I got a guy, I'm not gonna name any names, but he's an auto. I call him, so Gary's like my money mentor. I have 3 mentors. One is about money, people, and branding. Because those are the 3 main areas of business. I dissect my business into 3 different buckets. There's branding, money, and people. And I have an individual, his background is auto repair, and he helps me make people decisions. And I'm people, I'm people too. So it's finding people, it's understanding, who I could use and how are they best, what is their strengths, what is their weaknesses. Like my money mentor, I don't talk to him about people. But if me and my friend that are going to make a people decision, okay, we're going to make it. We want to hire this person, whatever that person, doesn't matter, the tech advisor, who gives a shit, right? And then I go to my money guy. I go, okay, we want this person to work here. This is what we think it's going to cost. Can we pay for it, or how do we pay for it? And he helps me make that decision. Same thing with my branding advisor. I made the move from Kukui to Shop Genie. I love Kukui. They're a great company. I have nothing but great things to say about them, but I jumped on the Shop Genie bandwagon because I use TechMetric. Okay. And my friend helped me make that decision. So his name is Adam McChesney. He runs a personal branding and digital marketing company here in St. Louis. Very, very good at. Dude, he's built an amazing personal brand on social media to drive his marketing businesses. Okay. And he's helping me. I'm going to find a digital marketing company for the sales side of business because I'm growing my sales side. I'm turning this into a flat out dealership, sales, service, repair, the whole. That's the direction I'm taking this, and he's helping me make these decisions. So that's what I'm using mentors for, is to help me make decisions, because paid coaching's got skin in the game. These guys have no skin in my game. If I go belly up, they go on with their lives. They're not looking at what's our ROI on quality out on David Marks. They're not doing that. Paid coaching, they're looking at what's my ROI on whether, and it doesn't matter what it is, what's my ROI on, like, the coaching companies I work for, what's our ROI on Dave Marks? They're looking at that because it's a business. These
Yeah.
guys
And you start
are
you start asking a little bit more, things aren't going the way you want them to, and then all of a sudden you become the squeaky wheel, or you become the poke in the side of the rib when they have all
right.
these other clients that are not speaking up, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now our ROI is going down because we're having to invest more time. So what are we going to do here, right? And it's like any other business decision. And I totally 100% respect and understand that. But when I'm being told to hold my vendors accountable, to hold my employees accountable, to hold all these people accountable in my business, and then I look at the funds that I'm paying to a coaching company, and I'm like, well, I'll apply the same accountability to them, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't do that. Like, oh, because now the roles have reversed a little bit, haven't they? So I get it. And when you're talking about having your mentors, is that like, are they bought into your business or okay, so
No,
no, they're not.
no, they have no financial skin in my game. One does. My friend Adam McChesney, I do pay him a monthly service fee because he's got a private group. But the difference with Adam is Adam practices what he preaches. Dude, he's actively practicing building a personal brand and growing his digital marketing company on social media. And I've known him for a long time. He's practicing what he preaches. Because I have a health coach, a fitness coach. He helps me. He's got my diet dialed in because I exercise all the time now. My body fat percentage was under 20%. It's at 21.6 when I did it the other day because I took 2 weeks off because I took like 10 days off vacation and I had some time before that to get ready. So
Oh, I saw you went up
I
to
was
Arizona.
yeah, I did. So I do work with coaches, but they are directly practicing what they preach. And I know that. Like they're in it with me. Like Adam's practicing his personal brand. I've watched him build his brand on Facebook. It's amazing. And he's helping me build mine. And some of the content that I'm putting out is geared towards how do I use social media, build that personal brand, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, to drive business and Nextdoor. And it's working. I'm getting business off Nextdoor because I'm applying. That's finally starting to click in my head what he teaches. See, here's the difference. To me, Adam's a teacher. My friend Luke Fernandez, he helps me with my health and fitness. He's got my diet dialed in. These are the foods you need to eat, the number of carbs, fat, and protein a day to achieve my goals. And then this is the workout regimen that I go to the gym. And dude, the scale doesn't lie. When I did do a body scan and I see that my weight's this and my body fat percentage goes down, and I see that I can push more weight at the gym, well, I'm building muscle and losing fat. The scale doesn't lie,
Hmm.
and I know he's doing this too. So when I do what these people that are doing it tell me to do.
Hey, sorry to cut in, but I got to let you know about our exclusive coaching partner of the Gearbox podcast, Repair Shops of Tomorrow. If you're ready to take your shop to the next level with proven strategies for profitability, ARO growth, and operational efficiency, visit repairshopsoftomorrow.com and start shifting your business into high gear.
And then I get the results that I'm looking for and the results that they get. Well, it's a no brainer, And then the other thing, I'm paying for their time. Like okay, like all this stuff, all this weight loss stuff that I'm doing. How much time would I have to invest researching how to work out, what weights to use, how to do it, in this regiment and putting the food so I can achieve my fitness goals. Okay. I'm paying my buddy Luke because he does all that for me. Same thing with Adam. Adam's an SEO genius, So one of the reasons I left Kukui and went to Shop Genius is we have now full access to a Google Ads account. We have full access to SEO account. He's going to help me advise Shop Genie on how to grow my brand, via Google digital marketing and SEO, because that's what Adam does and he's really good at it. I kept with the industry specific because they integrate with our POS system. I mean, TechMetric bought Shop Genie, so it's a direct integration. Because dude, Kukui really worked. It really did.
Well, it's one of those. It's one of those things.
The
Yeah,
numbers don't lie.
it's one of those things, and like it's a corporate thing, and with Kukui, they got their team, right? But if you want to take that and use your own personal guy, like, well, that's just a personal thing, right? Like that's just a
Yeah, it was just a
personal.
personal
Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll support them every day and all day. I told Connor Tracy that and my client that I mean, it's I'll still share your guys' stuff on LinkedIn and I mean, a lot of guys, and I'm just gonna go back to ASOC, talk shit about Kukui. I had a great experience with them. I really did. It really worked. So
Well, it
here's
only
how
works. It only works as good as you, as hard as you work, right? Like, so if
dude.
you if you do
Exactly,
if you do your monthly meetings and you pay attention and watch the numbers and see yours, like how many Kukui users out there actually use the dashboard, right? Like,
dude. I use it all the time.
I use it all the time as well. It's like, so are you using that stuff? Like, oh, they have a dashboard. Like, how can you have an opinion right now if you don't even use like? And we had a really bad relationship with Kukui about 2 years ago, right? But they stepped up and made a lot of things right. How many big corporations would have done that, right? I don't know what the
Right.
future is going to hold, but my point is like a lot of the time you get this feedback and like the product's not even being used or utilized, and then they got an
Right.
opinion about it.
Right, because I'm not going division this year. We're not. We're going to go. We went last year, and I talked to some other guys. Like, you're the only person that I've ever had a good experience with. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. So here, dude, here's how I track business. So let's say I get a new customer from Google. Okay, I put them into TechMetric as Google, right? And then they refer a friend to me. I put that friend in as Google. That person refers another person. I put them in Google. I keep going because in my experience with the Google ads, it was feast or famine. My Google ads budget was like 2,000 a month. That one month it might be 10K. The next month it's 1,500. And because of how I track it, when I see the overall revenue from Google on an average monthly basis was about 25, 30K, who cares? Because 49% of the business we got from Google is repeat consistently because TechMetric does that. So that told me that Kukui is working when I look at the overall big picture number instead of just looking at the other dashboard when they showed, okay, here's how much business you brought on. Yeah.
The PPC instead of
Yeah,
yeah.
right. That's how I do it because, dude, I'm an avid networker here in St. Louis. I'm really involved with the multiple small business networking groups, and I do the same thing. Like I'm involved. I'm in Maryland Heights, outside of St. Louis, and I'm really involved with the Maryland Heights Chamber of Commerce. Last year, between both entities, I got $110,000 in revenue from that chamber. I probably had about 80 hours invested into it throughout the year. Spent like $5,000 throughout the year, and 90% of that business was repeat. Well, I could validate that this works, but it's the long game. Same thing. That's how I do it. I've been doing that for a long time now. I keep going back to the original source. Then the big picture, I can look at that. That's
Hmm.
how I do it. I think it's the best way to do it. I've had people argue with me with that. I'm like, most people are like, oh, it's a great idea. Never thought about it. I'm like, yeah. How else do you know this is working? Unless you can't look at it at a big picture.
Yeah, there's a what's the name for it? But there's a name for it. It's avoiding me right now, but it's the same thing as like doing like marketing strange in that aspect where you never want to discount anything or like especially when it comes to shop coaches like don't discount and don't emotionally discount, don't do this, don't do that and the other thing. But there's like a marketing aspect that's like behind all that. It's like the French term, what is it, the je ne sais quoi or whatever they call it,
Oh,
you
I
know what
have
I'm
no
saying?
idea.
You know what I mean though? It's like that
Right.
certain thing where it's like you can help someone out and then that marketing spreads, right? And you can't put it into a logistical box, right? There's like certain things you can go out in the community, like you can just wear your uniform and go out and put your shopping cart back, right? Instead of like throwing it next to your car and popping in, like three or four people might see you pushing that shopping cart back, right? Just being a good person, putting it back in the
Yeah.
spot, and you get one business out. It's like, hey, I remember that guy was like, and like, how do you quantify that when it comes to marketing? But you can in your shop, like you give people a pen, right? Or you give them an air freshener, like just these little things that are like a lot of people are like, oh, don't do that. That's going to cost you money. And what's your ROI on that?
Dude,
What? How do you, how,
I have these pens. I put them green because the eye is going to go to this instantly. I always have these with me because when I go eat out at a restaurant, they got my phone number on it because our businesses are built on the phone number, Jimmy. If you want to know, to me, our business is our phone number. Okay. So I always keep these with me. Whenever I go to eat at a restaurant, I always leave one of these. I leave them. So I have a
it's a,
marketing thing
for
called like,
everyone's not watching, it's a bright green pen with his logo on it for those not watching.
yeah, because,
If you're
yeah,
listening,
for
it's a
real.
bright green ballpoint clicky pen.
No, it's a good point. But the eye is going to go to this first
Yeah.
because of this color. That's why I have that. So, I always have these with me. I have a marketing and I call it demographic called other in my POS system because my system's not perfect. I get a lot of people come in that say, oh, my coworker referred me here. Who's your coworker? I don't remember. So I just put them in other. It's not perfect, but I as best I can, I want to know where they came easy too. Then I can thank the person that referred me. What I do is I have these little cards here that I give out to people because, dude, okay, nobody wakes up and goes, you know what? I'm going to go buy auto repair today. Nobody does that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what I do is I reward my customers by like, hey, you refer a friend to me and they bring in this card with their name on the back of it, I'm going to give you a $75 gift card to the restaurant of your choice because I have not met one person that doesn't like to go out to eat. So that's what I do, and it works. When they refer the friend, and I send them a text message, hey, so and so came in. What restaurant do you want me to get you a gift card for? Dude, they're going to refer more business, because who doesn't like to go out to eat? Everybody. Nobody wants auto repair. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't give out the free oil changes or 10% over next job, because dude, nobody wants what we do. People need what we do. Okay, so why give people something that they don't want? Let's give something people do want. That's free food. Who doesn't want free food?
That's wild. I really like that too. I like the referral programs, and that's a really good one. And on that, like the cost of acquisition, I think is really missed, and I think it's missed by a lot in the groups and a lot of just shop owners in general. As far as they think word of mouth, like, oh, I don't need a market, I'm busy enough, right? Well, if you're not growing, you're dying, so you need to be marketing, right? Like bottom line, or you're just happy working by yourself and being. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Like whatever your
Yeah.
definition of success is. So for the ones listening that want to grow, so $75 for a restaurant, right? Like, holy crap, you give people $75 for referral. Well, have you ever taken your marketing budget and divided it by how many customers come in that
Well,
month?
dude, when these people come in, their friend has already sold me business. It's
Right.
easy, dude. It's super
It's
easy when
easy.
these
Yep.
people come in
Yep.
to, okay, hey, you know what? I like to use the word investigate. I use the word investigate. We're going to investigate. Our technician's going to investigate why your check engine light's on, and we're going to provide you with this digital inspection so you can make good decisions about your score. I get permission to present the list on the front end. Well, when these people come in, dude, it's hella easy to tell them why the check engine light's on, or whatever the hell they're here for.
Oh, the
Right up.
referrals are the easiest. I mean, and
Yeah,
I hate
that's
to use
good.
the word term easy, but they're the simplest to
No,
convert. I mean,
right,
that's the bottom
right.
line. Yeah.
I guarantee if I dug into my PO system, these have the highest ARO, dude, just flat out.
Well, and then they come back, right?
Yeah,
And the retention
exactly.
is through the roof. Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
it costs you $75, right? And then you
right.
can look at Google AdWords, take your $2,000 Google AdWords budget and divide it by the 150 cars that came in that month. What does each one of those cars come in, and what was your conversion rate, and then what's your retention on each of them? I guarantee
Right.
your retention 60%, so you're losing just under half, right? I mean, that's just what I've seen. And then what's the ARO on it? It's always $200 or $300 less than your repeat customers. So
Yeah.
it's like there's that you got to add into the equation too. So $75 is nothing, right? To have like
No, it's pennies on the dollar.
a loyal client, not just a customer, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, our closing ratio on Google customers is about 50%.
Yep.
The different networking groups that I'm part of, the closing ratio. No, Google's the number one revenue
Yeah.
generator, flat out, hands down. I will say that. The retention. Okay, it's 49%. 49% of my Google business last year was repeat. Okay, which my buddy Adam said that's pretty good, Dave. I don't know if there's an industry standard for auto repair or not. I have no idea. You know what? I don't know. I don't care, because I'm not going to overthink it.
Business is business though. Like
Yeah,
if you cut all the
exactly.
shades of gray away, like it's just it doesn't matter if it's automotive or a bakery or whatever. Like it seems to me the more research I do is the same thing. Like the percentages are the percentages. Like it's the same
Yeah,
across the board. And if there was one that was more or less than the other, then everybody would just want to be do that, right? Like if you could
yeah.
open a business where your net profit was constantly 40%, like everybody would just go do that, right? But it's like on average, it's like you get that 20% net, right? On average, all these marketing tactics, it seems like everything ends up being about the same percentage wise when it all balances out. I could be wrong.
I
I could be
agree.
wrong.
I don't know. I don't want to overthink anything, and it tells me, okay, like the different networker groups I'm one of them, and the highest one. So I have one in there. It's called Personal David. So these people somehow have a personal affiliation with me, somehow, way or form. That one has the highest ARO and the highest closing ratio. It's either people I went to high school with, and it says I got my demographics set up in
I
TechMetric
feel like
right.
that would mind that for me that would be the lowest. Like
Oh no,
it
it's
seems like friends are always the ones that want the deal, you know, or like the
well.
no, not everybody. There's a lot of good friends out there, but
So they're affiliated with me outside of a networking group, or Google. That's how I have it. But I track all this stuff because it helps me. Like, okay, it validates that I need Google, right, and then it validates I need all of this is what it is, and it tells me, okay, if like the networking groups, it's the long game. It's the long game doing what I'm doing, the small business networking. So the next demographic I'm going after too is real estate investors. Okay. And here's why. This is outside the box thinking. So the real estate investor world here in St. Louis, it's a tight knit community that talks. Okay, they really talk to each other. It's really cool. So in the state of Missouri, junkyards can legally buy cars without a title. Okay, that doesn't mean they have to. They can. Their license is set up with the Missouri Department of Revenue. So when these investors buy a house and it comes with a car, they want the car gone. So we can flip the house or fix it or rent it. So what I do is I facilitate with other junkyards to come pick up the car, right? And then they send me a check, usually between $200 to $400. Okay. Nothing to get excited about, but I had two cars last year. I got a Honda Civic that I bought for $500 because the people were still, somebody passed away and the sister got the car and I got to buy this Honda Civic hybrid for $500. I put a battery in it. It cost me $100. I sold it at auction after the fees. I got $32.50 for it because it needed a bunch of work. It was not retailable. Okay, it would, but I would have been upside down on it. So I took it straight to the auction. Boom. So the next one is same scenario. I bought a 2005 Corvette with 62,000 miles on it. I put about $1,300 in parts into it. After it sold at auction, I got $12,825. Okay, you can't do that in auto repair. The other thing is too is I've told these investors that I have loaner cars. We got 4 loaner cars. We use Shop Loaner. I love Shop Loaner. I'm a huge advocate for them. They're awesome. Is that, hey, if you guys can't walk properties, you're out of business, whether existing properties that you're trying to rehab or you get that phone call, hey, we got a property we want you to come look at. So with the repair shop, we can give you a car, we can fix yours, and you can still walk properties and do your business because I'm going to become the known go-to automotive guy for the St. Louis real estate investor community. And when I do, dude, the referral machine's just it's on autopilot because they all talk. I've seen that, I've experienced that, and they're just gonna use me to either buy a car, sell a car, or do this. Then all I have to do is just nurture it every so often. And I know how to do that because I'm not as involved with the Maryland Heights Chamber of Commerce as I used to be, and I get a ton of business out of it without really having to do a whole lot. I just got to maintain it. I got to change oil every so often. That's all I got to do. But I know the closing ratio when I do this right is way higher than Google. So that's how I build my business. I networked my business from a backyard garage to brick and mortar. It really works if you work it, but it's the long game.
That's an interesting concept. I like that.
Yeah, it's just finding
It
demographics that have a problem and helping them solve that and just understanding that. I had the aha moment where I can understand, okay, this is a tight knit community that all talks. How do I become their go-to guy for automotive? Hey, because they all like what contractors use, who do you use for roofing, who do you use for flooring, who do you use for kitchens when they're rehabbing a house? Well, the same thing's going to happen for automotive. Like, oh man, yeah, my car worked on. Oh, dude, you need to go see this guy Dave. He's got loader cars. I had a car and I got a call about a property and I was able to go walk it and buy this house at a good price because I had a car because he had a loaner car. I guarantee as soon as those happens, dude, they'll all be lined up outside my door with their wallets out.
that's the hope and the intention, right? I think
Yeah,
I think
it'll
I think
happen.
I think a lot of the time they look for like everyone's looking for a quick fix, right? Or like the ROI. Like they want the immediate return, and I think the biggest scores happen with long term. But it's also the most investment and has the highest risk, right? Like it may not work out, and you may invest all this time and money, and it ends up kind of falling through the cracks and not really working like you want it to.
No,
But
I know this will work out because I know what I'm doing. This is one area because I know the networking groups I'm part of. They have the highest closing ratio. They're not generating the revenue like Google does. Okay. And it's just a compliment. It's like how many of these different demographics can I be known as the go-to automotive person for all their automotive needs? I know what I'm doing and I'm playing the long game. Am I perfect at
yeah,
this? Hell no. Nobody's perfect at anything. But I know this about myself. I have the personality, the persona, and at the end of the day, in St. Louis, we don't have any public transportation here in St. Louis. We have none. We have zero competition. Everybody needs a car. So
yeah.
it's just how I build my business.
So I guess in this situation, it's obviously how it's conducted, right, and how you the follow through. But in any other situation, or someone else is looking to try something unique or different, like you got to just try it, right? And I'm not saying this particularly is not gonna work out for you, but if there's another instance where someone's got an idea, like go try it, man. Like try that longer game stuff because there is no immediate return. But if you do enough of those, eventually in 6 months or a year, right, it starts paying back. The one thing that we started doing was a 6 month reschedule, right? Like, so everyone that came in, we're like, hey, in 6 months we're gonna get you back in for an appointment. Oh, for what? Oh, it's a free reinspection. We're just gonna do a quick once over, make sure that everything we did went well, and if there's anything else you need to be aware of, costs you nothing, right? And now we're at that 6 month mark.
Yeah,
So we're starting to get these cars back in, right? Well, they're coming back
right.
in and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm actually due for an oil change. So while I got you, can you change the oil? Like, oh wow. And then
Right.
we're finding more, more things that happen, and it's just like builds on itself. But it's like that long game stuff where like you're gonna re-inspect vehicles for free. Like, why would you do that? And
I
it's like,
love it, Jimmy. I think it's a great idea. Hell, I'm thinking about doing it. I mean, how do we get a car in the shop on the lift with all four tires off? How
yes.
do we accomplish that? If it's done with, see, you're doing it right because when they're leaving, either you or your advisors are ethically telling them and educating them why they need to do this so the customer feels good about it. That's why they're coming back. You're making people feel good and they know that you're not trying to just, how do we squeeze out of them? You're doing it in the right way. I love it, man. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and most of it is just like, hey, some of the bigger projects, it's like we need to get you back in and we're gonna just re-inspect. We're just gonna make sure everything we did is going right. Right, because
Right. Yeah.
you don't know your vehicle, like, you know it, but, like, you don't know, like, maybe there's something weird going on, but you don't wanna bother us, or you don't wanna, like, there's a lot of people that go through that, right? And then you know what they do? They end up going somewhere else because they don't wanna go back to the shop and then have some mean mechanic walk out and be like, "This isn't anything that we had to do with it," right? Like, there's that thought in the back of their mind that, like, if they go back because they hear something weird, they're gonna be scolded or yelled at or, like, shamed upon, right? Or like sold more stuff. Like, so they go somewhere else to have your work checked out, right? And it happens. And you know what's
Oh,
really
I
scary? You
agree.
know what's really scary about that? It's like we don't even know about it. Like, unless you know the shop down the street well enough where you're actually friends enough to go have a beer every once in a while, no one's gonna tell you that stuff. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "Oh, I can't believe you went there. I would never take my car there. Just stay here with us." Right? That's what most shops do to each other. Right? Everyone's so cutthroat. Like, and the networking's great because I do the same thing. I try to get all the shop owners together. I try to hang out with them. Like, so we're on the same page. So if I get a car from them, I let them know right away. Hey, just so you let you know, like, I see you sticker in the windshield or whatever. Like, I'm this is the story that I'm going to tell you just so that you're aware, right? Like, I just want you to know this vehicle's here and what we're looking at. A lot of other shops will get that and they use that opportunity to badmouth you and to steal that customer away for whatever reason in the world they think that works.
Yeah. I don't do that because, and
It
I've
never
told customers,
works.
like, no, I told customers, I'm never going to talk shit about another shop because do you want to do business with somebody that is talking trash about somebody else? Because that's a direct reflection on me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, if when I'm a consumer and somebody else is bad mouthing their competition, dude, I'm done. I don't want to work with you because I know you don't see any value in what you do. You have no ethics, you have no morals, and how do I know you're not going to do that to me? If I'm talking,
Exactly.
if I don't do that. And people that want me to throw another shop under the bus, I tell people no. I saw the writing on the wall with this lady. She came in the other day, and I'm not going to name the names, but a big chain store supposedly messed her car up. I don't know. We just tell them, like, look, that's fine. Bring it in. We'll inspect it. We'll tell you what's wrong with it. I told them what's wrong with it. It needed an oil pan. Here's the price. What do you want to do? I'm going to take it back to, do you think so and so did something? Like, I don't know. I can't answer that question. All we know is the drain plug is stripped. Somebody's tried that Lyle repair kit and we can't fix it and it needs a pan. Well, if they're the last ones to do it, then maybe you should take it back to them. But I never throw anybody under the bus. And I don't want customers that want me to throw that other stuff under the bus because I know what I'm in for. Okay. You're going to throw me under the bus for every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I almost turned this customer down. I almost did. I was like, nope, I see what you are. You're just blaming everybody else on your problems. But it was a little slow, so I took it in anyway. But you just got to be really diplomatic with those individuals that
Yeah,
are
sure.
looking for you to throw the next person under the bus.
Oh yeah, because you'll be the next one on the radar, right?
Right, exactly.
You're not
Yeah,
special, but we all
exactly.
we all think we are special. We're gonna be the one that fixes them, right? And like, and you're
No.
gonna be the hero, right? They're gonna be the shop hero, and they're gonna come to you. No, like that's their mindset. That's what they're always looking for you to screw up so they can go tell the next person how terrible, like how they found this terrible shop, right? And it's why would you want to be a part of that process? It just goes on and
Right.
on. And
Right. Right.
every single shop that I've had come through our town that badmouths me or I hear anybody else, they end up folding up. They disappear, right? It never ever works. Like it's I still don't understand why someone would do that. Why they would step up and say, "Hey, they screwed this up. I can tell. You should go back there and have them fix it." Right? I usually get a phone call. "Hey, this happened." Okay, well, here's the number to the warranty company that we use. Call them. They'll take care of it and have a nice day. Right? Like that's why I pay for the warranty companies that we have. Right? That's why we have 36 3-year warranty. It's like just call a 1-800 number. They take care of everything. There's no need to like go beyond that.
What
What
warranty company are you using for that?
certified auto and then the Napa Auto Care program.
Oh, okay. Nice. I've
So,
heard good things about that. One of the General Parts Corporation, I don't know if they bought, but they invested heavily into an auto value bumper to bumper group here in St. Louis, Al's Auto Supply. So the owner said, "Yeah, we'll put you on it." I'm like, I'm still waiting because
hmm.
I've heard a lot of good a lot of things.
The Napa program is really nice too because I mean it's towing, right? Rental and even like so we use TRC for a lot of our transmissions. They cover rental car reimbursement.
Wow,
They'll do hotel stays if they're out of like if like they will step up to the plate and like take care of like the entire experience for the client, like the whole thing.
wow.
Yeah, it's a
You
premium.
said TLC?
TRC, it's transmission remanufacturing company.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was good information, man. I would have never known this, Jimmy, if I'd not been on this podcast
yeah. I
with you.
mean,
So,
trying to find the warranty that is obviously good, right? But then they actually do what they say they're going to do, right? And that's when
yeah,
the rubber meets the road. Like they can say all the
yeah,
things in the world, but until you actually go through the process, so I always like make sure I call. Like when I get like companies coming in trying to sell me their, hey, we got this transmission rebuilding company. Is like I'll just call right like, how's the warranty process work? Well, you call this number. I'll call right then. Let's see who picks up. Let's see if anybody actually picks up.
right, right. No, I
Because
mean,
sometimes
this
that
is
happens, and you rings and rings and rings, and then no one calls you back, and you're like, "What's going on?" Oh, we're just really busy right now, but we'll get back to you real soon. We have the best warranty in the country. We're just super behind right now. Like, well, if no one's answering the phone, it's not the best warranty company in the in the country. I'm
right. You
sorry, you
guys got
know.
a broken process.
Mm-hmm. So
All right, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll have to get their information because
yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds really good. Yeah,
So I guess the main thing is like that. That's the whole point was is obviously standing behind what you're going to do, but like making sure that we're all on the same page is like shops in your area when it comes to networking, right? Get out there and shake hands and like talk to people and like let's all get on the same page because like at the end of the day like we're just trying to take care of the people in the cars and the whole trying to throw someone under the bus is just it just never works for anybody. Stop doing that. Like
yeah, yeah. I'm not connected. There was one I was connected with. He ended up selling to a chain actually last year. I used to know some of these guys from selling auto parts, but as years have gone on, I'm like a lot of guys. So I've got my own little bubble here, and I just stay in my little bubble, and I haven't connected with the other shop owners or even their advisors. So that's getting me thinking: do I just take a day next week and drive around, just introduce myself, like, "Hey, would you guys like to let's get together like once a month or something and have lunch or just talk?" Because there's tons of business here in Maryland Heights where I'm at. We can't service all the people in this municipality, and see who would be
that
along with that.
the other thing about the Napa is the BDG group, which is I just recently started that group. It's a business development group through Napa.
Hmm.
So we just recently started that. I'm the president of the group, and that's the big thing is trying to get all the local shops together at once a month. It's really really hard. I just don't understand why no one wants to show up, but hopefully we get to the point where we can start meeting up weekly or monthly and actually like go over things and start doing events for the community. Like this next month here, we're gonna do it's called Jumpstart a Heart. So one of the shop owners here locally, she's CPR certified and she knows a lot of network of medical professionals. So we're going to put an event together to get people CPR certified. So all the auto shops come together. We're going to do it here at my shop, and we're just going to do like a quick 3 hour, thing. And it's going to be, I don't know, $80 or something for a ticket. You'll come in, do the class, you'll become CPR certified, and it's for the whole community, right? And it's like just cool events like that, like just build the brand and like do so much more. And not only that, like it's just fun, right? Like to get everyone together and to like have this big community event. And it's like, so that's the one thing this year I'm working really hard with that, and doing more technical training in the shop, but like doing more. Hopefully in October we got a soapbox derby race that we want to put together for the community. So we
Nice.
can get soapbox derby cars, go get some kids, get everyone involved, and have all the shops build cars for the kids. And like we got body shops that are in the we have I think 8 or 9 different shops in the group right now. 3 of them are body shops, so we can get them all custom painted. And like it's just gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be a fun event. But like on the back end of that, there's just gonna be so much exposure, right? And I hate to make it sound like I'm only doing it for like the branding exposure, but that is a big part of it, right? And it's like this is what we're legitimately doing things. Like it's not like I'm just saying I'm gonna do it. Like we're going out there and doing it. So yes, come use us if you need us. Right? And not only that,
Yeah.
not just me, but like us. This is the group of shops in this community that are willing to spend our time to do things for the community. So if you're gonna need to get your car fixed, use one of these shops. Like we're trying to do something for the community. This is where your money you spend here is going right back to like do this, right? I just love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, that's a really cool idea. It's got me thinking about, getting more involved with the because I mean a big part of the Chamber of Commerce, but we're not really involved with the local community. Not like, not like that. I've been really involved in that organization because it's helped build the business, but it's just within that organization. How do we do that at a community level so that the local residents, really get to see the faces and meet the people, behind these businesses,
Yeah.
even that. So it's yeah, because if yeah, I love that. If you're gonna use somebody, use one of the local guys instead of the chains.
Yeah, the chains. And I know a lot of the chains in corporate in quotes are like they are local owners too, but there's a difference, right? Like there's a difference between the mom and pop and like having to split your income, or like having to ask, you
Like a
know,
CarX or a Midas
yeah, like
and
yeah, they're all local people that work there, sure, but like a part of that pot is being given to CEOs that aren't are from around here, right? So if they want to do an
right.
event like that, they have to ask the higher ups. We have some dealerships that are here in town that are locally owned, and they're always willing to like donate anything into any of the events that we have going on, which is fantastic. So
Nice.
I don't like. I guess it's not like the divide of like only using the mom and pops, but like if you're going to use a dealership or a corporate one, then use one of the ones that are like willing to spend some of their budget on a local event, right? Instead of like taking
Right.
it overseas and buying another yacht or a jet or whatever. Like,
Well, so yeah, we don't really have any like all the dealership groups, the franchise dealers here in St. Louis, they're all locally owned. Auto Nation and Lithia and Group One and Penske, the publicly traded groups, they don't have a presence here in the St. Louis market.
hmm,
It's all yeah, because those are the big boys. Lithia, Auto Nation, I think are one and two. There's Group One Automotive, Penske. They're all publicly traded on the stock market, so they have to answer to Wall Street. But all the local dealerships here. There's a couple big groups here in St. Louis. They're all locally owned. I mean, we have independent dealers like Car. We have a couple CarMax. Auto Nation has an independent store, independent dealership, but there's none of the publicly groups have a franchise store here, unless one of the big boys is sold and I don't know about it.
I could imagine that most of them would be interested in stuff like that. I just,
Yeah,
it's just fun. You put a car show together and a barbecue, and you get the whole community together. Like, I mean, even if you don't get like the ROI on it, it's still like a good time. It's still fun, right? Like
yeah.
it's still like, and then you put it on. There's like a sense of pride, and like
Well, you do that because it makes you feel good.
it does. It
If
really does. I like it.
if
Yeah.
you feel good about doing this, then the byproduct is you're gonna get the business because people will resonate like hey, like I really want to do this because I'm into cars and this is something cool. This is something I can get behind and get passionate about it. It really resonates with people. That's why they can see that. If you did, I don't know, something that did the same thing, and you're not really like passionate about it, they're gonna see through the bullshit. And they're
That's
gonna
true.
go, okay, I see why you're doing that. It resonates because you really, I can tell this. We're across the country, and I can see I could see and feel. You got excited, your face lit up, like this is
Yeah,
cool. We're gonna do this. That really resonates with people. They can see that. People can feel that. I mean, we may not think that people don't pick up on that vibration and energy. They really do. That's why. I'm sure those events you're running around, you're smiling. So everything we can do for you is anything I can get for you. You're having a good time. When it's done ethically and morally and from a place of inspiration, people can pick up on that. Well, then they're going to go, okay, if this is how he is about this, I know he's not going to screw me when he fixes my car.
that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
You
That
know?
those are the nuances when
Yeah.
like we can't put our finger on, right? Like they say
Yeah.
a person is smart. People are dumb, but a person is smart, right? And like
Right.
so there's things that like when someone's shady and they're doing it for nefarious reasons, no matter how good of an actor or actress they are, like people
No,
can see through that
it's
bullshit, man.
I mean, I don't do a whole lot of that stuff because there's nothing like what you're talking about, like me sitting here right here, it didn't get me excited. I'm thinking to myself, oh, how can I do that? Oh, that'd be cool to do. But would I show up with that same inspiration that you did? No, then I'm just wasting my time and money, and I'm going to look even worse than not doing it.
Oh, that's true. Because you force yourself to do it, and now everyone feels
Yeah,
obligated. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a good
So
point.
if I'm gonna do something like that, because I believe in everything that you're talking about, it's got to be from a place of inspiration, not desperation. Because
Mm,
if I do that from a place of desperation, dude, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be worse off than if I didn't do it
that's a great
because
point. Yep.
people will know where not to go. Don't go to that guy because all he did that to try to draw us in to get us working on a car.
Oh my
You're
god,
doing
so
it from
right.
a place. You're doing it from a place of inspiration. That's why it's working for you. If there was something that I could do here that I would get super inspired and impactful about, well, then yeah, I would do it. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so why bother? And people, and if just because I don't want to do that doesn't make me a bad person, it doesn't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. I just know that this doesn't inspire me. If it's come from inspiration, people will pick on it, and if it comes from desperation, people will pick up on that too. It's obvious yours is from inspiration.
That's a good point. It's like when you're busy at the shop, everybody says yes to all your recommendations. As soon as you get slow and you get desperate and you're like, I need to sell, right?
Yeah,
All of a sudden they say no. It's like, how come everybody says yes
right.
when we're freaking slammed?
Right. Yeah, dude, it's so true. No, Jimmy, I agree 1,000%, man. I mean, dude, you hit the nail with the BFH, big time. Yeah, it's weird like that, but
Yeah.
I think that's we're during when we're busy, we're not detached to that outcome because we could care less if they say yes or no. We need to have that same mentality when the shop's slow because people can pick up on that. People don't want to do business with businesses that are desperate.
Yeah.
They want to do with businesses that could care less whether they spend money or not. And
Yep.
people can feel that. And
Hmm.
I think we attract that, like it's slow right now. So I'm attracting a lot of people that want a state inspection. Well, they just want that and that only. It's hard to upsell. So it's like, what do I need to work on, in here to attract those people that got their wallets out?
Yeah. That's the secret. That's the $1 million question, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
So, I guess start wrapping this thing up. But the one thing I wanted to circle back on was the mentorship, and that I mean that obviously piques an interest in me, and I think for a lot because I think to kind of circle back on that conversation is the coaching. The coaching stuff's really getting in the groups and everywhere, and everybody I talk to, it's really circling around as far as like, do they need a coach? What are they really going to do for me? Right? It's monetized? Like there's and so the mentorship is a great option I think to look into. How would somebody go about like doing that? Because that obviously when you don't know with everyone's looking for something specific in auto repair, right? Like whether it's marketing or shop coaching or hiring technicians, like it's all got to be. You want to find someone that's specialized in automotive, and I think that makes sense. It's a logical direction. When you're looking for mentorship, it's a huge feels like it's a huge pool that we could look at. What did you do to try to find someone that worked well for you?
I'm a big believer when the student's ready, the teacher appears.
Interesting.
And I'm a very real spirit because I mentor two business owners right now, currently, and I got a third that's going to start tomorrow with me. I'm anticipating, and I think I believe in the pay it forward mentality. Because I've had some great teachers, like the guys, and I've had other individuals. See, a mentor doesn't have to be somebody that we get with, on an everyday basis. I've had lots of mentors that have spent time with me that maybe we don't spend time on a regular basis together, and they've set a great example for me. So I think if you really want a mentor, start looking for people to help. And if you start looking to help others, okay, then I think that that mentor for us will manifest. Dude, I'm
Mm,
a huge spiritual person. I believe in the law of attraction and all of that kind of stuff. That's very, very woo woo. Just right out the gate, SCORE is a great place to start because it's nationwide and they're directly affiliated with the Small Business Administration. So the first mentor I had that SCORE placed me with was a gentleman named Tony. He was in like the healthcare field, and I was looking for somebody that was industry specific, and they placed me with a gentleman named Gary Deacon. And me and Gary Deacon hit it off right away, and became really good friends. So I would say, start with SCORE, and then who can you help? Honestly, who you can help. You want to know, Jimmy, how you got enthusiastic about the box cars? I get enthusiastic about how do I help somebody that's brand new to business. How can I be for somebody what I didn't have? Because when I got all this started, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't start using a mentor until I was about 6 years in. 6 years in, and maybe I wasn't ready at the time. I don't know. I'm not going to go down. I just know I didn't have anybody, tell me do this, do this, do this, do this, because the lady that does my social media business, she was like coaching people on how to do it, and there's something that gravitated me to her. I said, I want you to do it for me, and the next thing you know, I'm teaching her business, and then from there, these mentors have fallen into place. It's trusting the flow of life, trusting the universe. And I think find somebody you can help. If you morally and enthusiastically, help the next generation of entrepreneurs or business owners, whatever you want to call it, I think that person will appear. And it'll come when you least expect it. No different than anything else.
that's true.
That's what I think. But just right out the gate, SCORE's a great place to do. SCORE's a great place to just to start to get in that rhythm. And they have a ton of resources so in my experience, when I was working with Gary and I was trying to get a loan, I wanted to get a loan to move from backyard to brick and mortar. A lot of local banks in here, a lot of the bankers know of SCORE in my experience here in St. Louis. Okay. And a lot of them knew Gary Deacon. I'm not kidding. As soon as I said, hey, I'm working, I was trying to get an appointment to get a loan. They're hee-hawing, giving me, blowing me off, and said, well, I'm working with SCORE and Gary Deacon. Literally is okay. When can you come in? Because they knew Gary, they knew SCORE, they know that SCORE is going to make sure that I can pay them back, or is going to help verify that I can pay them back their money on whatever it is I want. So I would start with SCORE and then find somebody you can help. Looking for somebody, because Jimmy, you've had a shit ton of people help you get where you're at, and I too, who can I share my knowledge with? Because I'm telling you what, man, when I talk to these three individuals and I specifically replay old scenarios where I've lost money, okay, I have a much clearer understanding of that. Like, oh, that experience that I went through, good, the good or bad, when I'm sharing that with somebody else, it makes 1,000 times more sense than it did even when I was going through it and even reflecting it. Well, I can learn from that, and it's one of the ways that I've built self-confidence, because when I'm teaching and I'm like, holy shit, I just said that. Oh, well, heck, I know a lot more than I'm giving myself credit for. It's one of the best
That's a
ways to
good
learn
point.
is to teach.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm going to Rankin Tech here in St. Louis next Friday because they have like a competition, and one of the gentlemen reached out to me about being a judge, and I'm going to go. I one thing is, so in St. Louis we have a thing called DECA. I forget what it stands for, but it's for high school students. I didn't go through it because I was a shithead when I was in high school. That's how I ended up in automotive. People
That's
end
how
up
we.
in
That's how we all.
automotive.
That's how we all did.
We're,
Yeah.
we're yeah, we're shitheads in high school. But anyway, it's an entrepreneur program for high school students. So I loved teaching that. Like I did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do, but I didn't care, so I would tell them what they did right, I would tell them what they did wrong, and blah, blah, blah. So find ways to help the next generation of business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever the hell label you want to put on it. And I promise you that teacher will appear.
I love it. Yep. They got to break it down in a way that you can simply explain it. Really starts finding the cracks, right?
Yeah, because God, there's a lot of people here in St. Louis that I know they have home-based businesses. That's fine, but dude, to me, that's not a business. We have businesses because we have brick and mortars, we have employees, we have all that stuff. We're in the minority of people that are successful in business. We have overhead, we have fixed expenses that these vendors expect their money whether we make it or not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these home-based businesses that I deal with. Well, their overhead's their mortgage, so we have a ton of knowledge that we can pass on, to the next generation to help lift them up, help them succeed. And I feel good doing it. I love doing it. Dude, I get super passionate and super inspirational when I get to teach business and entrepreneurship because I love being for others what I didn't have. I didn't have anybody when I got this shit show started. It was figured out as I go along. Oh, I just lost $2,000. Whoops, well, I won't do that again. I just lost $3,000. Oops, I won't do that again. We've all been there, done. Dude, I've lost thousands over the years running this shit show. I know you have too. So how can I help the next generation not have to go through with it? Dude, that's what I love doing. And I think that's why I've got the teachers that I have.
That's awesome. Great shit.
Yeah, dude, it works. If I give away entrepreneurship's going to be given away to me. Dude, I firmly believe that.
I think so too. Well, thanks, David. This has been another very insightful talk.
Yeah, no, dude, I love doing this, dude. I love. That's why. When we were talking, I was like, hell yeah, I'll come back on here. I love having a conversation with you. I love it.
This is great. Yeah. Well, you've come a long ways health wise and it seems business wise well in a very short amount of time since the last time we spoke. So keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Yeah, I hear you, brother.
All right, Gearboxers. You know I keep things running smooth, engines and beards alike. That's why I trust the Bearded Brotherhood for top quality all natural beard care. From their best selling Woodsman to my favorite, Thieves, they keep me looking sharp and smelling fresh. Check this out. Get 15% off every order with the code GEARBOX15 at thebeardedbrotherhood.co/Gearbox15. Your beard will thank you.